July is usually notorious for being that one month of the year that doesn't feature a lot of big game releases, but I have to say, this July across all platforms, there are quite a few games that you should be interested in, and in this video I want to go over 15 games that are coming in July that should definitely be on your radar. This is going to go over PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Series X, Nintendo Switch. We're rolling with the whole gambit, so let's get right into it. First of all, since it's pretty relevant right now, Neo: The World Ends With You is coming July 27th, and the reason it's relevant is because the demo had just been released. Now, I was already excited for Neo: The World Ends With You. I loved World Ends With You back in 2008, but man, oh man, after playing this demo, I am doubly excited for the game. It really retains a lot of the elements that made World Ends With You great in 08. However, because now we're talking about a game that's being released on modern platforms, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC version coming later than the PS4 and Switch version, it is taking it up a level from the visual standpoint while still retaining that quirky art style, but that great music is still there, and I would also expect a very compelling narrative out of this one. If you're into story-driven Japanese RPGs with great combat, World Ends With You, Neo World Ends With You, excuse me, is going to be right up your alley. It comes July 27th. Next up, we have Samurai Warriors 5 coming to all major platforms, PC, PS4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One on July 27th as well. Samurai Warriors 5 marks a fresh reimagining of the franchise, including an all-new storyline as well as revamped character designs and a stylish new visual presentation. And really, that's something that caught my eye right away. The visuals in this game have a slick presentation. Now, you probably know whether or not you like the Warrior style of games at this point from Omega Force and Tecmo Koei. They always offer a little bit of fun. Hopefully, Samurai Warriors 5 can excel on that, offer some unique new mechanics, and be overall an enjoyable action game. It's a game that I really feel like anybody can enjoy. I think more people enjoy them than others, but they're a relatively consistent set of games, and hopefully Samurai Warriors 5 does fall in line. It's the first Samurai Warriors title in a little bit, so it'll be nice to go back to this one. And obviously, don't worry if you never played any of the previous games, this is noted to be a fresh reimagining of the franchise featuring an all-new storyline, revamped character designs, and again, as I mentioned at the top, a new visual presentation. The game is dropping July 27th. Next up, we have an upgrade that I am very excited for. A Plague Tale Innocence is seeing a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series upgrade on Tuesday, July 6th. It'll also be coming to Nintendo Switch via cloud gaming, so this is a game that I've always talked very highly about. If you want a game that is incredibly absorbing from a narrative standpoint and sets a great tone and atmosphere, maybe great isn't the right word, rather a dark tone, however, that really absorbs you into the game's world, Plague Tale Innocence is something that I highly recommend you check out. Of course, a sequel to this game has just been announced in A Plague Tale Requiem, and I'm so happy that the game was received well enough and did well enough commercially to warrant a sequel. And if you have yet to play A Plague Tale Innocence, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series version is going to take it up a level, and there are rumors that the PlayStation 5 version is going to be a PlayStation Plus title in the month of July. That's looking relatively likely at this point. I won't go into all the reasons why, but if that is the case, that's going to be a great way to experience one of the greatest games of the generation from a storytelling standpoint. I really don't think it's a stretch at all to say that, but the upgraded version is out July 6th, which is a Tuesday. Next up, we have Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin coming to PC and Nintendo Switch on Friday, July the 9th. Now, Monster Hunter has become one of the more acclaimed franchises in all of gaming, but of course, Monster Hunter is more so known for its traditional titles, your Monster Hunter titles that you see like Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise, and so on and so forth. Monster Hunter Stories is a little bit different, following more of a traditional RPG experience, and the first game released on the Nintendo 3DS, and it was a surprisingly great game. Like, you wouldn't think it would be a title that would make the transition well, or maybe you would think it would be a little bit jarring, but it was actually pretty good. This one will offer both RPG and Monster Hunter fans a unique new experience with a rich storyline featuring charming characters, challenging quests, and friendly encounters with familiar monsters of the Monster Hunter series. So if you're a fan of Monster Hunter, a lot of fan service here as well. And Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin does have a demo available on the Nintendo Switch, so go check that out. And the official release of Monster Hunter Stories 2 is due out Friday, July 9th. Next up, another great RPG JRPG, IX Monstrum Nox, coming to PC and Nintendo Switch July the 6th. Now, this is a game that released on PlayStation 4 earlier this year, and IX takes the Ys franchise to a little bit of a darker tonality, but it still retains all the things that you know and love from Ys if you've played the games in the past. That includes excellent music, great combat, and a great story to boot as well. Of course, you take on the role of Adol Christian once again, and you embark on this story. Now, if you've never played any of the Ys games in the past, I would highly implore you to play Ys 8. That is a great entry point into the franchise if you don't want to spend $60 right out the gate. However, Ys 9 is going to be a great title to check out for JRPG fans, was really well received on PlayStation 4, and now you can play it on PC and Nintendo Switch. Let's just hope that this time around, the PC version on launch day is a much better experience than Ys 8's PC version when that came out a couple of years ago. Next up, exclusively to the Nintendo Switch, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, the upgraded version, the remaster, whatever you want to call it. I know that there's been a little bit of controversy with the game being priced at $59.99. It's a Nintendo first-party release, kind of comes with the territory at this point, but The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword was an incredibly well-received game on the Nintendo Wii, and now it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. I know it's been relatively difficult to get your Joy-Cons and your Amiibos for this game, which is a little bit unfortunate, but still the base game is going to be great to check out. And finally, we can play it on a platform that's not the Nintendo Wii. That's why sometimes with these Nintendo consoles, you always got to think about game preservation, and it's a great thing that they are porting some of those Wii games like your No More Heroes onto the Nintendo Switch, and now we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, definitely a game people were clamoring for. It's a Zelda game, it's a really good one at that, and it's updated in HD. It's going to be a solid pickup as long as you're okay with spending that $60. The game itself is due out on Friday, July the 16th. Next up, we have Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is coming to Xbox Series X. Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, it's Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is this going to be a game that I'm really going to be interested in? And trust me, I thought that when Microsoft Flight Sim first came out on PC, and then you actually experience it, and it's a technical masterclass of a game. Like, this is a game that brought high-end PCs to its knees, and yes, you might be like, oh my god, it's running up 30 frames per second on a Series X. Yeah, see how Flight Simulator works on a PC, and then you'll understand why the fact that this is even running on a $500 machine is incredibly impressive. And the fact of the matter is, it's not even a game you gotta spend $60 on. You can get it through Xbox Game Pass, and it's gonna be a nice addition to the Series X library. Honestly, for a lot of people, this might be a game that sells them on the Series X. That is not an exaggeration, because there are a lot of people that are super into Flight Sim, and having it easily accessible on a Series X on a console. I know Series X's are relatively hard to get still, but not that difficult. It'll be nice to have that in the Game Pass repertoire as well. Next up, we have Eldest Souls, which is coming July 29th. It notes fast-paced and brutally challenging. Eldest Souls is a unique boss rush Souls-like experience. In a final act of vengeance, the old gods have unleashed a great desolation upon the world. Mankind's only hope lies with a lone warrior and his great sword of pure obsidian. So this is described to be a Souls-like game with a different kind of presentation. Of course, more of a throwback look, but definitely something right up my alley. And I think the visuals themselves, it's a great visual style, and I think a lot of people will dig that. Do expect something that is relatively challenging. As it notes, boss rush brutality, Eldest Souls focuses on only the toughest and most engaging of combat encounters, the bosses, with each old god presenting a new and unique challenge for the player to overcome, with fitting rewards for those who triumph. And it does seem like there's quite a variety in those old god boss fights that you are going to have throughout the game. You've got pixel perfection in the visual style, and a cast of intriguing NPCs and quest lines as you explore the ancient citadel. Eldest Souls is due out on July 29th on all major platforms. Next up, we have The Ascent, which is coming to PC and Xbox One on July 29th. The Ascent is a solo and co-op action shooter RPG set in a cyberpunk world. The mega corporation that owns you and everyone, the Ascent Group, has just collapsed. Can you survive it? Visually, the game's got a very vibrant look going on for it. The game itself notes that you can play solo or co-op, play the entire game alone, or work together with up to 3 friends in local online cooperative play. It's an explosive shooter. Aim low or high, switch weapons and equip lethal gadgets, take cover, and use the destructible environments at your advantage, and keep adjusting your tactic as you face new enemies, and RPG elements are included in the game as well. And again, you have a vibrant cyberpunk world to go through. The Ascent is due out on PC and Xbox One on July the 29th. Next up, here's a really cool game on PC. That is Vesper. Thousands of years after the activation of the Vesper protocol, a small android crosses a fallen world hunted by merciless machines to control the power of light and decide the fate of his race. This is a game that's going super under the radar, but it is due out July 30th, and by the way, there is a free demo available right now on Steam, so you can check that out if you're interested. Vesper is a new inspired take on classic 90s atmospheric platformers with an emphasis on stealth and modern puzzle mechanics. Seven is a small android lost on an eerie planet full of perils and traces of an ancient civilization with no powers and no ability to defeat enemies until he finds the drive gun, a weapon used to absorb light, create darkness, and control minds. And you have to look at the game. It's got vibrance to it, but at the same time, there's a dark tone going on for it, and I really like the presentation style of this one as well. We got some good-looking games that don't accentuate from a technical standpoint, like a Crisis or something like that, but they all look good in their own unique way, and Vesper definitely falls in line on that category. The game's out on PC on July 30th. I would imagine it would be coming to other platforms sometime later on. Next up, we have Blaster Master 03 coming July 29th. The pinnacle of mutant blasting action is here. Blaster Master 03's hybrid of side-scrolling and top-down action is back for its third chapter and more intense than ever before. It's really kind of been incredible to see how Blaster Master 0 has come back in such a strong form. And now we are seeing the third entry. If you're a fan of action platforming, shoot-em-ups, this is going to be right up your alley. A mishmash of a lot of old-school design choices and a presentation that really harkens back to games from the early 90s. If this game looks at all interesting to you, I would highly recommend you to go play Blaster Master 1 and 2. Those games can be had relatively cheap, and Blaster Master 03 will be due out on July 29th. Next up, we have Warhammer 40k Battlesector. Warhammer 40k Battlesector is a fast-paced, turn-based strategy game set in the grimdark universe of the 41st millennium. Pick your force, develop your army, field mighty heroes, and fight for victory using superior strategy, awesome abilities, and devastating weaponry. So Warhammer 40k, excuse me, is a franchise that has boasted so many games, and there has been so much added to it that if you're into it at this point, you can really be into any genre and you can find something within the universe. But this is more of a turn-based strategy title, so probably akin to something you would probably play on PC, but it is coming to consoles as well. We'll see how this one turns out. It is gonna be out on July 22nd, and there is a pre-order discount, 10% off, typically $40, but it is $36 if you want to buy it now. Next up, we have the great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which is out on July 27th. Always great to see Ace Attorney get some love over here in the West. Obviously, this is one that's been out for a little bit in Japan, but you know, over here in the West, Ace Attorney doesn't get as much love, but it seems like Capcom has been trying to support a lot of these IPs over here in the West, bringing out a lot of these Mega Man collections, and of course, Ace Attorney Trilogy came out a little while ago, and it seemingly did pretty well, so that's why we're getting the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is out July 27th. If you've been a fan of Ace Attorney, definitely something to keep on your radar, although that July 27th date, a day for a lot of big game releases, so bear that in mind. Next up, we have Tribes of Midgard, which is coming to PC, PS4, PS5 on July 27th as well, so there you go again. Heads up, the giants are coming. Mythical creatures, deadly spirits, and gigantic brutes threaten to bring on Ragnarok, the end of the world. Form your tribe of up to 10 and become Viking legends in this action survival RPG of gigantic proportions. This is another game featuring a very vibrant and colorful art style within Norse mythology. You'll discover dungeons, slay legendary beasts, and build anywhere as you explore formidable procedurally generated lands on your quest to take on Ragnarok. Forge your Viking legend, rally the tribe, and keep up the fight throughout the year. Limited time seasonal events bring bigger challenges and even mightier treasures to the endgame of Midgard, including new ways to progress and unlockable rewards for use across every game. So that is going to add some longevity to the title as well. Tribes of Midgard is due out July 27th. And lastly, definitely want to give a shout to Chernobylite, which is finally seeing its full release on Steam. This has been a long time coming, and the game's been in early access for quite a while, going back to October of 2019. This is done by Farm 51, the same guys that brought you Get Even, and this one is an RPG survival horror mixing free exploration of disturbing locations with challenging combat, unique crafting, and non-linear science fiction story. Build your team, survive, and reveal the twisted secrets of Chernobyl in the 3D scan recreation of the exclusion zone. Of course, this game is also coming to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X later in the year. The PC version, the full release, is due out July 28th. The game's been in early access for a while and has seen a very positive reception. 181 Steam reviews, 88% positive on that end. But again, the game is going to be out July 28th. And that's going to wrap up this one. That goes over all the games that are coming in July. Let me know, what games are you the most excited for? Is this a month that you're going to pick some games up? Is there anything that you're going to skip, maybe wait on a sale for? Let me know and wait on our buy or wait for a sale video as well. That'll be coming in the next few days. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.